First item of business, as always, is the approval of the minutes of the July 20th meeting. Anybody have any changes, additions, or corrections?
I think Mr. Roof was here, and I didn't see him on the minutes, but
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, he was
That's
here.
one I missed. All right, I missed that one. But I just have a couple of typos on page 3 at the top. It's not "they plan members," I think it should be "the plan member," or "the member's plan," I should say. And then under discussion items, I think Facebook is a proper noun and should be a capital F. Other than that, I did not see any. Are there any others? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the
So
minutes
moved.
of July 20th as amended. Ms. Jordan, is there a second? Mr. Trable, all those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed, ayes have it, so ordered. Privilege of the floor, did anybody sign up? Nobody signed up. Did anybody wish to address council on an agenda item? Hearing and seeing none, mayor's report.
I have nothing to report this month. Thank you.
Two of my favorite words, no report. Next on the agenda would be the borough manager's report. The playground program and fire department community soak event on Thursday night. It was postponed a week.
Correct. The fire department has graciously decided to request of the community coalition to bring the trucks out and get everybody a little wet. And this week it's going to be 97, so come on out, meet the fire department. They're always recruiting. It'll be from 5 to 8 p.m. this Thursday at the Stanley Avenue Playground in conjunction with the playground program.
I thought it was only gonna be an hour. I didn't know they were gonna be that.
No,
free.
it's like 5 to 8,
Okay,
somewhere around there.
that's fine. It was announced 2 weeks ago, and we were up there with our granddaughter, and she got excited about it, so we said something to her parents. Hopefully she'll be able to attend. Road work update, what's going on up on Jeter?
The road was milled off and removed. If you've been past there is no road between Kiefer and Cool. So that is underway. They were removing sidewalk today when Mr. Quire and I were up there and drove past. So that is moving along. Hopefully more on towards the 3-week completion than the 4, but they have up until 4 weeks to get that work done. Broadway, Great Western is looking.
Please say they're done.
End of this month, best case scenario. Then our project for curb and sidewalk has finally gotten the go-ahead to go out to bid. It is advertised, and we'll be awarding that in September. So more to follow on that, but it does sound like the restoration is going to be done hopefully by the end of this month, but it does sound like it's going to sit until spring paving, just due to the other delays. And again, with our curb and sidewalk, we'd have to cut the road anyway, so I get it. I don't like driving over that road any more than any of the residents or any of you, but it'll be a little bit better than these temporary cold patches are now, and it'll get us through winter, and then we'll have a nice smooth road and a nice curb and a nice pedestrian crossing. So all that stuff is moving along. The pedestrian crossing at Broadway and Delaware should be starting sooner or later. That bid was awarded, and we had the pre-construction meeting. So we're probably looking at the 3rd week of August for them to start there as well. Minimal traffic disruption.
This is a good thing. As I recall, we started that project about 6 years ago.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Next.
The notification system we discussed last meeting. I have to talk yet this week with our vendor that does our billing software for garbage and sewer bills. They provide a public alert option, and then after that, I think I've narrowed it down to, depending on their product, but to 2 or 3 that we can discuss that are reasonable. That would certainly fit our needs, and I would look to probably incorporate them into the budget for start in 2023, since we're already in August, and then we'll go from there, and we'll give it a shot for a year. They're all like year contracts, so if we find that we don't have the enrollment that we thought we would, and it's not an effective use of borough money, then we'll go away from it. But I think it could be a very good thing for getting out information like the cancellation of the soak last Thursday night. So,
And last but not least, the food pantry follow-up. I saw they submitted their plans.
correct. So their plans came through. We have the total on their fees. As we discussed, Mr. Berger and I looked into whether or not the borough could donate to a 501c3. There is nothing in the borough code or anywhere in the municipal statutes that preclude that. However, we did note that there are other boroughs that have a formal policy for those organizations submitting and reviewing if it's over a certain dollar threshold. And I think it was a very minimal number, like over $100. So we both agree that best practices would be to develop some type of policy that when folks come forward that gives, they submit information that council can then evaluate. So we'll be working on that in the very near future here to get something ready for next year.
And
Question here, is that somehow affiliated with the farmer's market that's out here in the parking lot?
No, I don't think so. This is a partnership between Second Harvest and Bethlehem School District and some community stakeholders and donors. So it's its own 501c3 that is going to be operated out of the school and then will benefit first and foremost children who are on free or assisted lunches, and then could potentially expand to other folks that are in need in our community. So it is independent from the wagon that's out front here.
Mario, do you have anything else?
I don't.
Okay. New business, there's nothing there, but do we have a school crossing guard?
No.
We're still looking for one.
Yeah, that has been crickets for the entire duration of my employment here.
Anybody else have anything to bring up on new business? Hearing nothing, we'll move on to resolutions. Resolution 2022-24, a resolution setting forth the degradation fee, that's a mouthful, pursuant to Chapter 21, Streets and Sidewalks, Section 305 of the Code of Ordinances. We talked about this at the last meeting. We're gonna have, the last time I believe was 2016, we've updated them. Or is that the next one?
No, this one was 2016 was the last time this was adjusted.
All right, anybody have any comments on that? I'll ask for a motion to approve resolution 2022-24. Mr. Trable, is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson, any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Trable? Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Let's update the fees. Next resolution is 2022-25, a resolution amending resolution 2205, fee schedule to adjust the street excavation escrow fee. Apparently that's been too low.
It's been a flat number, so it's actually, we lowered it for smaller excavations, but then it's a graduated cost as the square footage increases. Right now, it's a flat $1,000, so if you do a trench or you do half a street, it's $1,000. So the idea of the escrow obviously is to recover our costs if we have to do the repair, if the contractor just goes AWOL. So we tried to make it a little bit more equitable and also cover our costs.
All right, is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 2022-25. Ms. Jordan, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Trable, are there any other questions? Hearing none, Mr. Trable? Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving right along, resolution 2022-26, a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Fountain Hill authorizing the execution and designation signatory of an agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for a traffic signal maintenance agreement. That's for the new pedestrian crossing sign?
This is not for that yet, but we'll need it, which is why we worded it the way we worded it, so we don't have to come back again. We can reuse this, but this one is actually for the pedestrian crossing at Dr. Sleeves.
Okay. And that's what we have in our packet?
Correct, yeah, that lengthy PennDOT agreement, and then PennDOT requires this resolution in this form to authorize me to sign the agreements once we review them with the engineer.
And I'm assuming the solicitor looked at it and has no problem?
I believe Mr. Berger looked at all of these on Friday. was sent to.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2022-26.
So moved.
Ms. Johnson, is there a second? Mr. Trable, any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Mr. Trable? Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And I vote yes. There are no ordinances. There are a couple of motions. First motion is to award the Warren Street Mill and Overlay contract to Gaver Industries, Inc., doing business as Barker and Barker Paving. They were the low bidder as recommended by the borough engineer. I believe there was a memo about that in our packets. Anybody have any questions on it? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve, to award the Warren Street Mill and Overlay contract to Gaver Industries, Inc., doing business as Barker and Barker Paving. Mr. Trable, is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson, any other questions? Hearing none, Mr. Trable.
Yes.
Ms. Jordan.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And Mr. Bott says yes. Next item on the agenda, rejecting the sole bid for the Grass Alley conversion and storm sewer replacement project from Cobalt Construction due to pricing well over the estimated cost. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Grants?
The only thing pertinent is the grant we received from the Conservation District. We have a 2-year window on that. I confirmed with their representative today, so the plan is to rebid it in spring and hopefully garner some more interest and lower costs. But I mean, we're talking 3 times what we had estimated.
How much is the grant for?
The grant is for $30,000, but then the stormwater portion of it, it will be covered under the Stormwater Authority. But yeah, it's considerably more than that.
All right, is there a motion to reject that bid?
So moved.
Is it you, Ms. Jordan? All right, is there a second? Mr. Trable, any other questions? Hearing none, Mr. Trable? Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And we'll table the project till spring, and hopefully we'll get something better. Old business, anybody have anything under old business? Hearing nothing. President's report, Mr. Gratz and I attended the annual legal seminar. It was not as well attended as pre-COVID, but there was a fairly good crowd there. And I don't believe there were as many options as there were pre-COVID. That third salon was being used back then, and it was not being used this time at all. But I learned a few things, and one of these days, Chief, you and I are going to have to talk about some of the policies that hopefully are in place, just to make sure they are there. Did you have anything to add to that, Eric?
No, I think it was, like you said, there was a smattering of offerings that we all gleaned something from, so it was good.
And unfortunately, I left a few hours early. I would have liked to have at least listened to the right to know law update. Other than that, I also attended with my granddaughter and my wife up at the playground for my unfortunately, it was only my second trip. I think it was very well attended by the children. Everybody seemed to be having a good time, and I've said this before, it was very refreshing to see the staff interact with the children and get involved with them. I thought that was very well done. Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for that. I really appreciate that. And also, my granddaughter had a great time.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Does that seem to be better attended now as it was a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There were numerous children, they were involved. The only thing that I saw, and I think I mentioned it to you, they were hanging on that piece of apparatus up above that, I don't think that's meant to be up on that top bar.
Yeah.
It's meant to be hung on, but not sitting on the top bar.
Yeah.
That was a little dangerous. Solicitors report, do you have anything for us, Mr.
No
Lair?
report this evening.
I'm sorry?
No report this evening, Mr.
Are
President. Your
there-
favorite words.
Are there any outstanding claims against the borough that we haven't heard about lately that you're aware of?
I'm not aware of any. I did check with Mr. Berger before this meeting. My understanding is the direction at the last regular borough council meeting was to initiate certain properties for sheriff's sale. That has proceeded, and we've actually received some response from the attorneys representing 2 of the applicants in a positive manner. So that's all I have to say.
Which is a good thing. Any money we bring in is a good thing. All right, committee reports, finance. In Mr. Trotter's absence, I'll try to get through this. From the regular account, there are invoices and bills totaling $148,277.77. From the Health and Sanitation Fund, there are invoices totaling $97,899.90. There's nothing from the fire fund. From the liquid fuels fund, I believe there are invoices totaling $10,785.78. The library fund, there's a invoice for $7,606.33, which is the monthly contribution. And I believe that is all of them. I cannot make the motion. Is somebody making a motion to pay those bills?
Pay the bills?
Ms. Jordan, is there a second? Mr. Trable, all those in, Mr. Trable? Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And Mr. Blatt says yes, pay the bills. Anything for Public Works, Ms. Jordan?
I'll turn it over to Jason.
No report, sir.
You seem to be doing a fine job. I get around occasionally. I see the streets are looking good, with the exception of Broadway. You can't do anything about that. But you seem to be doing your usual fine job. Would you pass my appreciation on to your crew, please?
Sure.
Police, that's me. I have nothing except that we're going to meet with the union on Thursday to begin the preliminary talks about the contract. I think we're going to turn our list of proposed changes over then. I don't know if it's going to be beyond that. Eric, is that going to be beyond that, or are we just giving them our demands?
I'm sure there'll be some back and forth discussion, and we'll try and engage in that to the extent that we can. But yeah, I mean the idea would be is we have their proposal, we'll give them our proposal, clarify some things, and they can take it back, and from there we'll try and continue negotiation and find a middle ground, hopefully without arbitration.
Perfect. All right, Mr. Roof is not here for the House and Ordinance. Where are we standing on his proposed light ordinance?
So the light ordinance is, we were just talking about this today, so our hope is to get something else for the Planning Commission to not have a meeting for literally a 2-minute review. So if that doesn't happen in the next couple months, there's some things that are out there that we think are coming forward. So when we do that, it'll be incorporated in that. We have not, knock on wood, since the one issue that was the impetus for that, we have not had any lighting complaints since then.
Good.
So until that becomes a priority, like I said, for the interest of everybody's time, I would like to couple that with something else on the Planning Commission agenda.
All right. Now, is that a change to the zoning ordinance, and we send it over to the Planning Commission, and they've signed off on it? The Lehigh County, Lehigh Valley Planning Commission.
I think it has to go through our Planning Commission first.
All right, perfect, okay. Recreation.
Keith, is that correct?
That's my understanding,
Okay.
yes.
That's how I read it as well.
Ms. Johnson, the playground seems to be running like a top.
Yeah, it's going very well. Follow up with the discussion for having a movie night. There are 2 companies that manage the distribution of licenses to project movies. Disney and a couple of other companies are with one, and the rest of the production companies are with the other. Cost is based on the number of attendees or the number of expected attendees, and can be anywhere from $60 to over $1,000. The estimates that I got for about 200 to 500 people were about $600. Costs are lower if we own the movie. Like if I have a copy of Goonies and we want to get a license to show Goonies, it's less expensive if I use my own DVD than if they provide the movie. So if we are thinking about going ahead with something, I'd like to put some dates forward.
All right, now, again, Ms. Johnson, copyright law is not my strength. In years past, the park director, I believe, borrowed something from the Bethlehem Public Library's film library. Is that something that we can do?
There are movies that are available to broadcast for the public. They're free movie, free to, for copyright laws to show. The problem, you can rent a movie from the public library, but licensing for the playing of that movie in a public setting is separate,
Even if we don't charge?
even if we don't charge.
Wow. See, I'm not a copyright law guy. All right, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Health and Sanitation, Ms. Graham is not here. In her absence.
Oh, excuse me, Mr.
Oh, did I miss one? Oh, fire. I'm sorry, Phil.
That's okay.
Anything going on?
We are having a drive to increase membership in the fire department, and again, we have the soap on Thursday night. Last week I didn't have to go to the soap, I was walking home and I got soap.
It rained, as I recall. With regard to the recruitment, I don't think there's too many people here. Stu, I think you're a little old for that, but anybody listening on our YouTube channel, we will supply at our expense the necessary training. Is that true, Chief?
Yes, sir, it is, and I would add that there are positions for a number of, there are a number of ways you can help out the fire department in addition to, driving trucks, putting the water on the fire, but as well, support roles, auxiliary roles, fundraising, things like that, where it's not day-to-day responding to calls, but of course we're always looking for folks to respond to calls.
All right, and we will provide we don't provide the training. We provide the resources for the training. Correct?
Yes, sir. The department provides training, equipment, both in-house training and training through Bucks Community College in terms of fire.
Now, our students, friends who are maybe looking for community service hours, are we approved?
We are. We can.
Now, I know they can only do certain things, but that would free somebody else up, right?
Well, the juniors program, often when we have folks come in, say they're looking for community service hours, we can have them wash the trucks and things, but it's more valuable, we find, both to the department and to those young folks to become a member of the junior program, get some experience on the trucks, learn their way around, and get those community service hours, but also provide service to the borough, and build their own resume and things like that.
All right, children, if you're out there, or the high school students, if you're out there, you can get your community hours in helping our fire department, and if you wish to get trained, once you turn 18, you can do other things, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And our phone number and email address is on the website.
Or you can contact Mr. Gratzer at Borough Hall. Or Chief, or Richmond, most on Monday nights, right?
Yes, sir. Monday nights, we also do some trainings on Thursday nights.
I was not aware of that. Okay. Thank you.
Please call Mr. Gratz.
Just one more thing in the never-ending list.
Other duties as a son.
Okay. All right, health and sanitation in Miss Graham's absence, the garbage, we took in $32,085.86 for the month of July. Sewer, we took in $45,793.88 for the month of July, for the grand total of $77,879.74. As a reminder, the third quarter sewer garbage bills were issued 7/15 and are due on or before 9/15. There is no more discount for early payment, unfortunately, but the late fees are still there. And that is my report in Ms. Graham's absence. Personnel, I don't think anything's going on there, so I will say no report in Mr. Trotter's absence again. Special or select committees, Will's not here for the library.
May I say something?
Yes, absolutely. How's Books on the Hill going?
Books on the Hill is great. I just wanted to remind everybody that it's still in place on Mondays. It's called Cereal and Books, where the students can come up and talk about books, and there's also a little breakfast there for them. And also, the library has had many activities over the summer, that you could check out on their website. I try to share everything on Facebook. You can also check them out on Facebook. It's been a very active summer at the library with programs for children and adults. So I just want to remind everybody to make a regular habit of checking to see what the new activities are. We always have new programs going on in there. They get better every month, so check it out.
One of the ones that my friend's daughter is most excited for is the D&D night that they have during Stranger Things, and you wanna get into D&D.
Oh, by the way, Ms. Johnson, I didn't ask you, what is the projected close date for the playground?
I don't think we've determined one yet. I will have to meet with Mr. Grants and Kaylee to determine when they're going back to school.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out when she's going back to school and also when some of the other kids are also going back.
Thank you.
Library question over here.
Sure.
Are they doing any, a computer class again? Or is that, they did it a couple of years ago, I know.
I haven't seen anything that's just specifically a computer class, but when the fall schedule comes out, if I see anything on there, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
There's nobody from the hospital. Chief Becker, do you have anything to add?
There's a stickball tournament this weekend.
Oh, that's
so
right, yes, I
Park
forgot
will
about
be-
that.
Park will be crowded up there. And what is it, October 22nd, we're doing a drug drop-off again, 10 to 2. I'll send something over when that comes out, and we'll put the flyers out.
And are they also doing the stickball tournament up at the parking lot for St. Ursula's also?
I don't know if it's I just.
Or
got
just
a
our
call
field?
Just
Just our field.
on South Stanley, yeah.
And although it's not really part of us, I note that the Fountain Hill Little League is going to have a fall schedule this year.
Yeah, fall.
That's new,
Yeah.
and that's we wish them well.
You
Chief,
can register for that through August 2nd. I think they have a tight deadline
that's
of
tomorrow.
August 2nd.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Chief Richmond, anything you wish to add?
No, sir.
Jason, anything you wish to add? No, sir. Okay, that's it for special or select committees. Privilege of the floor. Anybody wish to address council on any item whatsoever? Hearing none. Now, we are supposed to have an executive session. I would suggest maybe we defer that so the other 3 members can attend at the second meeting of the month. You agree?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't
Or
see
does
that.
anybody disagree?
Yeah, from my standpoint, I don't see that, as I indicated in my last email, I don't see that as a pressing matter right now, so we can defer that.
Okay. Before we ask for an adjournment, I'm going to remind everybody out there, and especially our friends on YouTube, watching us on YouTube, our next meeting, I believe, is August the 24th, 7 o'clock, here at Borough Hall. You're encouraged to attend in person, although watching us on TV is nice. Being here is so much more exciting. Having said that, I will entertain a motion.
I just want to make a
To
correction.
adjourn.
The last day for sign up for that fall ball is the 6th, the
Okay,
Saturday.
that gives them till
Yes.
Saturday.
I
That's not tomorrow.
just shared it on our Facebook.
Yes, from 10 to 12, they'll be up at the Little League, and I will make that motion.
All right, Ms. Johnson, is there a second? Is there a second? All right, Mr. Trable, we'll have a rising vote. Thank you all for coming out, and our friends on YouTube channel, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it.